On 10/7/2024 AD, meaning on the first anniversary of the Al-Aqsa Flood, an American think tank based in Washington issued a project called the Esther Project. The Esther Project, a project that defends the Jews, would be against the theme of anti-Semitism. The foundation is called the Hertz Foundation or the Heritage Foundation. It was established in 1973. It did many studies and supported American presidents in different perceptions of events. It is an extreme right-wing movement. There were presidents who relied heavily on it, such as Rigel, for example. The apparent project is to combat anti-Semitism. What does anti-Semitism mean? Jewish persecution is biased against the Jews. Sam, who is Sami bin Noah, is from his race, meaning from his descendants the Jews came. Whoever is hostile to the Jews, is biased against the Jews, hates the Jews, or oppresses them, remains financially or morally or anything they call anti-Semitism, and they do not say this to any of the children of the second year. I mean, the Arabs are also children of Sam. Arabs and other children of Sam do not claim violations against Arabs are sublime, only applied to Jews. The project, they said, which is the Esther Project, is a very, very dangerous project because in a play on words, I consider it one of the most dangerous Zionist projects in history from the hour they established the state of Israel in Palestine. Because first of all, I considered anti-Zionism synonymous with anti-Semitism. Both of them are one thing, and this is not true. The equipment of Semitism is racial and ethnic hostility. We say that it is unacceptable at all. I mean, as Muslims, we reject it. We reject that I distinguish the relationship on the basis of race. That's it. A person has nothing to do with it, so we are never supposed to include it in our accounts. I am a son, although we do not hate anyone because of their race or religion. But anti-Zionism is a completely different story. This is a political story with many different opinions. What does Zionism mean? It means establishing a state for the Jews in the land of Palestine. This is specifically in the land of Palestine. This is Zionism. There are very many people who oppose Zionism, even among the Jews themselves, Christians, Muslims, Americans, and non-Americans. This means that many reject even the people who live in Israel. Some of them reject the idea of Zionism or the idea of establishing a state in Palestine. I mean, this is the first thing if it is considered hostility. It is anti-Semitism, and therefore everything that results from anti-Semitism will be attached to any extent that goes beyond Zionism. Of course, anti-Semitism in America or in a number of countries of the world is a very, very serious issue. And a sword is placed on the neck of any human being, and it is subject to persecution, and it is subject to trials and exhibition for accusations of things. Too big because he's racist. The second point in the project is very dangerous. If he considered any color of assistance to the Palestinians a rate of Semitism, imagine any humanitarian relief to the people of Gaza, any action against them, whether it is a movement that means verbally like marches, demonstrations, seminars, and whether or not Mahdi moves an hour to help the Palestinians with relief, with food, medicine, or anything that they consider anti-Semitism, and what is dragged behind it. I mean, that's it. Anti-Semitism has become, take everything. When do you come to the rates of Semitism against this one who helps the Palestinian cause? The third point is very, very dangerous. He also considers any color of support for Palestine to be support for terrorism. He put this classification in his project. This is an act of terrorism because they support Hamas, which is classified as terrorist. He does not directly support Hamas and supports the people controlled by Hamas, and therefore I have an opportunity for Hamas if it governs their vision of seeing this project and thus supports it. Palestine by what he gives, meaning any penny in a relief body that helps PL. This Palestinian is a terrorist and all the provisions of terrorism apply to him. He may have his money confiscated, he may be put on trial and imprisoned, he may be expelled from the country, he may be dismissed from jobs because he's on the right. The terrorist lists on this project, Project Esther, a high-risk project, not Mo Esther. Some named after a Jewish queen. She was an ordinary girl in the Torah who was mentioned, and her story was living in Persia and was said to be her cousin Mordecai, and because of this, a conspiracy took place against the Jews. It was carried out by Haman, who was the minister of the Persian king at that time, and it almost meant that he would destroy all the Jews. She advanced for the king. She mediated for him, even though this mediation could have been dangerous for her, but she mediated as the king discovered the conspiracy before her mediation. He executed Haman and saved the Jewish people. They consider any project to save. The Jewish people take a name or take this story as a symbol. The means proposed by the Esther Project to resolve the Israeli issue, or to support Israel, or not to criticize Israel, or to support, any trials or something like that. For those who are hostile to Israel, I did not assume things. When the project came out, all the people said these are very imaginary things. When it came out on 10/7/2024 AD, they said these are very fake things. What? This is not possible. What do you ask him? They said, for example, in the project that we want to prevent the teaching of curricula and ideas in universities and schools that support Palestine, anything that supports the right Palestine or a Palestinian state, or criticizes Israel, that it removes it from the curricula. Of course, this intellectual restriction is very strange for a country like America, a country that matters to America. A lawful, constitutional, democratic and institutional state. An academic state, remove all this talk behind your back and put this down. This project is in front of the people. We want the intellectual curricula to be based on our will, not on the will of the authors of this curricula or the ideas of the people. Faculty members, the second need disability universities and schools are faculty members who belong to this thought as well. What do we provide to those who have this thought? What origin is from university or school? Preventing any activities that support Palestine, whether conferences, seminars, marches, etc. And purging the social media platforms, Facebook, X, YouTube and all these things. If these platforms are cleansed of anything hostile to Israel, what does it mean for Israel as a state? Whether this thought is religious, political thought, economic thought or anything pure, they said this and people said, by God, this is not applicable, and you are saying words that cannot be applied in any small country in the world. There is no country in a state of institutions like the state of America. Suddenly, glory be to God, when Trump took over these decisions, most of them were implemented within months. Not within years, very few months, as you say. The New York Times reported that more than 50% of the project decisions were made by Trump in the first 45 months of his term. What did he do? Trump first stopped the billions. Supporting research studies in universities that adopt an ideology that may oppose the ideology of the State of Israel. Palestine, including very ancient universities such as Harvard University, for example, actually prevented billions of dollars that were given to these universities. The University for Research Studies, in order to prevent this thought and indicated the arrival of this, the aid that was coming to her, or the scientific aid that was coming to her, if she removed these curricula from teaching, deported university students who had a legal visa and studied legally. Those who participated in activities that support Palestine or support the people of Gaza or support humanitarian aid to the people of Gaza, anyone who participates in this issue, that's it. What did he deport him? And even the people who have a green card. The green card also went to a number of them because they have proven that they participated in activities that support it. Palestine following relief organizations that support humanitarian relief in the land. Gaza and Al-Qaeda. And it was considered terrorist organizations and therefore possible. Their funds will be confiscated, of course, in addition to stopping government funding, and their members may be arrested or imprisoned. Faculty members present in a number of universities have already been dismissed, and some employees in the government have been dismissed as a result of participating in such events. And he followed social media, and we noticed and we saw in the news that he is the one who takes a visit visa to America or work in America or study visa. He reviews his Facebook and his social media and sees whether he was supportive of Palestine or supportive of Israel. Supporter of Palestine, no supporter of Israel. In light of it, do they issue visas or do they prohibit visas? Even people who enter the airport check for them. her Facebook, and her two means of communication, and if it is proven that it is Y, it means A. Cooperation, even psychological or verbal, with the idea of establishing a Palestinian state or support for the people of Gaza in Palestine is prevented from entering the country. And this happened even with some French scientists who were coming to regular medical conferences. Far from politics, they were prevented from entering America as a result of this issue. This project, of course, Yasser's project, will be wasted on very many people, and it will be wasted on American Muslims in a very large way. And not only Muslims are gifts on many active Christians, and it will even be wasted on a number of Jews in America. Anyone who criticizes Israel or supports Palestine will be harassed as a result of this project. They're planning, but we are ultimately saying that doesn't scare rights holders. A harmful and beneficial Lord. Our Lord is good. All Muslims have good tidings that Allah Almighty often prevails in His command. But most people don't know God's blessings are good. May God's peace, mercy, and blessings be upon you.